What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Memphis Grizzlies, and of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, the Chicago Bulls are coming off of a win in their last game versus the Toronto Raptors, so you want to see them basically add on to what they were able to do in that last game. Unfortunately, Zach LaVine did not play in this particular matchup. According to initial reports of his injury in the last game versus the Raptors, it looks like Zach LaVine will be away from the team for about the next 1 to 2 weeks. It really sucks because Zach LaVine just came back to the team from his last injury, and in the midst of everything else that's going on and swirling around the Bulls, Zach LaVine not being around and not being with the team definitely hurts. Even though there's many of things being said about LaVine and whatever the case may be about him and his relationship with the team, you still want a player of his caliber able to go out there and perform and be with the team. He makes the Chicago Bulls better, whether you like it or not. Now, for the Memphis Grizzlies, this is a team that's absolutely decimated from top to bottom. I mean, they have already lost Ja Morant for the season. They were already without Steven Adams for the season, Brandon Clark for the season. They recently just lost Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. The list goes on and on and on. Derrick Rose. I mean, this team just has looked decimated from the beginning to where we currently are. But make no mistake, they still have last year's Defensive Player of the Year in Jaren Jackson Jr., so you cannot overlook them. At the end of the day, these are still professional basketball players, guys that will go out there and look for ways to be impactful. They still have a good coach in Taylor Jenkins, so you cannot overlook this particular team. Now, in the beginning of this game, you did see Patrick Williams with a 3 to open up the scoring. It was a lot of back and forth, not a lot of scoring early on, but you did see Vucevic with a back down into the paint to a turnaround jump shot. And the Chicago Bulls offense wasn't really humming the way I wanted to see it, but you did see shots being made by Ayo Dosunmu early. The Bulls getting out there, finding ways to score with different guys. Like I said, Patrick Williams, threes being made, inside post presence by Vucevic, which he took advantage of in the game versus the Raptors. You seen Dalen Terry with a nice 3 to end the first quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, the Chicago Bulls did find themselves up 21-17. And like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies team offensively just could not withstand, a run that the Chicago Bulls were able to make. You see Alex Caruso making a 3 to begin the second quarter scoring. DeMar DeRozan get to his spots in the second quarter. Also, guys like Andre Drummond who took advantage of the mismatch in the paint. And like I said, the Chicago Bulls just faced off versus a team that had no answer, just due to the fact that we know what the Grizzlies could have been in this particular game, but the Bulls it just was a talent gap in this particular game. Just looking at just the plays being made by certain guys like Javon Carter, who has been seeing minutes a lot lately. Kobe White with a nice step back jump shot. And like I said, when the Bulls are able to get out defensively, run, guys get to their spots, Javon Carter there pulling up. And, when you look at this particular game, this is a game that I know people are like, well, the Bulls were supposed to beat the Grizzlies. They're decimated top to bottom. Well, at the end of the day, you can only play versus the teams you are scheduled to play. Now, in the beginning of the third quarter, the Chicago Bulls started to, lose the lead. You seen the Grizzlies go up 55-53 at one point, but the Chicago Bulls started to rein it in as the third quarter went along. You started to see step back jump shot right there by Kobe White. And as the quarter started to wind down, you started to see the Bulls start to ramp up the game. You know, 3-point shots being made all over the floor. The Bulls found themselves up 9 at one point. A great defensive rotation right there, which got a run out. Kobe White led to a dunk. And I mean, this is where the game started to get away from the Memphis Grizzlies. The Bulls were just being the more dominant and active team. A long three-pointer right here by DeMar DeRozan gave the Bulls a 70 to 57 lead right there. But again, the threes, Patrick Williams. The Grizzlies at one point did go on a scoring drought of over 4 minutes. So that helped the Bulls' cause as well, put them up. You know, you're looking at a team that scored 50 points. Had 50 points at halftime, you know, to score 30 plus points in the third quarter to give themselves just an ultimate lead to take on into the fourth quarter. You seen the Bulls started to get runouts with Alex Caruso with a dunk right there, and the Chicago Bulls just were the more dominant and active team. Now, make no mistake, you did have some threes by Luke Kennard. Jaren Jackson Jr. had himself a good game as well, but the Chicago Bulls were just... I'm not going to say the Chicago Bulls. I'm going to say the Memphis Grizzlies were outmanned in this particular game. The talent gap just did not boast well for them, and you saw that, you know. In the fourth quarter, it was basically the Bulls pulling away. You seen them up as much as 21 at one point in the fourth quarter. DeMar DeRozan with a nice pass to Andre Drummond. And if you are a fan of the Chicago Bulls, this is exactly the type of game you want them to play from the onset. You want to see them aggressive. You want to see them just go out there, beat a team that, you know, at the end of the day, before you go on your road trip versus another powerhouse like the Phoenix Suns, you go out there, give the bench guys like Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, Terry Taylor, you know, Javon Carter, guys like that, give them moments, late stages, let your starters rest, you know, let your starters rest before you go out there on the road, give them a chance to, you know, be able to sit out and win the game. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for the Chicago Bulls in a game, like I said, in a game where they were meant to, you know, they were scheduled to win that game. Honestly, if you ask me, they were scheduled to win that game. You look at the Grizzlies roster. I looked at the Bulls. I said, it's no reason why the Chicago Bulls should not be able to win this game. And in fact, that's what they did. 121-94, the Chicago Bulls find themselves on the winning end of tonight's matchup. And like I said, what more could you ask for versus a team in the Grizzlies? 125-96 was the final score of this game. As I look over the final box score in the Chicago Bulls, Jaren Jackson Jr. did have 26 points to lead the way for the Memphis Grizzlies. The high man for the Chicago Bulls was Ayo Dosunmu with 20 points. Kobe White had 17 points. Vucevic with another double-double with 11 points, 11 rebounds. You did see Patrick Williams with 15 points. DeMar DeRozan with 18 points. Javon Carter with 12. Andre Drummond with 15 and 10, so that's 2 Bulls in double figures. Now the Chicago Bulls do have an uphill battle coming up, facing off versus the Phoenix Suns in their next matchup, which is Monday night. So, of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Chicago Bulls fans, Memphis Grizzlies fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into this channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to know anytime a video is being uploaded to the channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I catch you guys on the next video.